3, 2, 1. Welcome to Bellwether. This week is going to be, oh boy, we're talking about anger. We're talking about anger. And I did, I just meditated before I did this so that I don't get all angry when talking about the anger. It's a little different this week. As I was thinking about what to talk about, it just dawned on me, like everyone is so freaking angry. And, when I typed up my notes, I had F-bombs all throughout it. I was just like, this is, I wasn't going to drop an F-bomb today. It may happen. So I'll give that warning. If you have kids in the car and you're listening to this, I'm probably going to drop, some kind of foul language because we're all angry. And there really isn't a word to encompass how angry, to really communicate how angry everybody is. Like this level of anger that is just existing is it requires an F-bomb. That's it. Like that's it goes beyond like, oh, people are really angry. No, people are effing angry. And it's not just from the pandemic. It just needs to be addressed. It's like this, everyone's annoyed at the pandemic. Everyone's angry at the pandemic. Everyone fine, but it's this deep core, multi-level frustration, anger, disgust. And I'm talking about it from, people know I'm in New York. I'm purely from an American perspective. So people in the EU that are listening, people in the Pacific that are listening, I know very well some of you, and some of you are listening. So this is going to be kind of America focused. So I apologize, but the anger here is next level. It's pretty bad, and we're angry at everything. We're angry at politics, right? We're full swing now into the political season. Just kicked off this week, really. Okay, we're angry at protests going on around the country. We're angry at pandemics. We're angry at racism. We're angry at sexism. We're angry at things that happened 40 years ago, and now we're bringing justice to people that they did so long ago. And we're angry at our jobs. We're angry at our stress. We're angry at our spouses and our kids. My 3-year-old has just learned how to throw shade at me. Like she's angry at me for something. I have no idea what that is. I flipped shit the other day because the spinach went bad and before I could eat it in the kitchen. And then I was like, what? Why am I angry at spinach? I'm angry at spinach. We're angry at people for not wearing masks. We're angry at people because they're wearing masks. Like you can't meet someone who's not angry. And then I get angry about all the angry people because everyone's angry and they shouldn't be. I mean, maybe they should be. I don't know. But it doesn't help anything. It's such a distraction. Even driving. I was driving the other day and I accelerated in my lane so someone couldn't get over. And then I got indignant that they tried to come over. And I'm like, what the hell is the matter with me? Why am I it's just, granted, driving's garbage now. You can't drive. People drive passing people on shoulders and whatever. Less people on the roads, people getting crazy. But, and I know my wife's going to listen to this podcast. She's like, everything you're complaining about, you do. And so, yeah, I'm angry, but but everyone is angry and we're short and we've got these fuses that we're just ready to pounce, man. And it's not good. It's just not good. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to do the podcast this week is I wanted to explore it for me. It's a little cathartic for me, when I can point it out and say that I'm doing it and I can hopefully laugh about it and say, Jim, you're an idiot. It's something I got to figure out because, I'm exploring why, really? You get angry at spinach? Let the person over in your lane, and then they go, and they're gone. I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, that's what drove this podcast this week. So let's level set. Let's talk about anger, because anger is a core emotion, and I talk with clients a lot about anger because we've got these core emotions, it's part of our personality. Okay. When we're building our personality, we've got these core emotions that we can draw from, right? And some people say there are 7 core emotions. Some people say there are 5. Some people say there's 11, whatever. But across all cultures, there's generally some consistent core emotions that we can recognize in other people. There's joy, and happiness, right? There's fear, right? Everybody gets scared. There's anger, sadness, disgust, right? A lot of these are real negative kind of core emotions, but that's it. And anger is stress. Anger isn't always a bad thing. It gets us to move. Stress gets us to move. That's it. But when we combine a bunch of these, fear can drive anger. Disgust can drive anger. We're attracted to these types of emotions because they linger. And some will say it's based back to when we were human cavemen and cavewomen trying to survive. We had to be, stress response to respond, and that's why we do it. And we have to focus on the negative, and it's our animal instincts. It's like why when you go have your annual review at work and they give you 10 positive things and 1 negative, and you're only focused on the negative. That's what we do as humans. And there's lots of research and theory on why we do this type of thing. But we're attracted. We're attracted to fear and anger. And that's why when you take a look at politicians, you take a look at businesses, there are ways that you can sell people on an idea. And you could sell people on things like hope, but it doesn't really last. Things that last are fear and anger. And so it manifests itself in us and manifests itself in how we respond to things. It creates part of our worldview. And so, especially now as I think about political season, it's going to be, it generates clicks. And that's really what it all comes down to. Everything goes through these technology little vortexes, and everything generates clicks. And so now, when I think about what I see today, there is just this dismissive disgust with the rest of the world. I mean, you've got your core little group of people, and you sit on Facebook and then clicking away, clacking away, and complaining about, Donald Trump or Joe Biden or whatever kind of thing is going on. And your other friends are like, oh my God, totally. But it moves beyond that now, and it's getting into behaviors, and we're insane. We living online. I'm going to talk a little bit about the behaviors I had to change, where it's become such a distraction. I had to turn off my Facebook. I had to turn off my Reddit. We're living online. We've segmented out this. We've created our own little echo chamber of nonsense. We've segmented out the population who align with us online. Online figures out the things you like to click and gives you more of that, and it just manifests into this thing. And we're sitting now, as I look through Facebook, it's on both sides. Republican and Democrat are sitting there. They're imagining these scenarios. If you think that this is going to fly, if you try to put something on my page, defriend me now. You are dead to me. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, we're imagining these scenarios of these vicious people posting things on our feed as if we're that important. And we're imagining how we're going to defriend. And we've officially gone beyond. Right? And it doesn't live on Facebook. Like, I know I don't live on Facebook. Facebook is just like this garbage thing that we really shouldn't be on anyway. Everybody knows it, but we still go on it, right? It's like this drug that we just kind of deal with. And we do it. We post this shit on Facebook. Or Twitter, whatever, all of them, doesn't matter. And but it doesn't stay there, right? You close your laptop, you turn off your phone, and it's back in 5 minutes, and you carry it with you. And it became such, I don't post many things on. I certainly don't do politics. But I was, I'm scrolling through and feeding through, and I could just feel it. Like the tension in my shoulders and my neck, and it builds up like this level of stress and anger at how stupid everybody else is. Like everyone's an idiot. Everyone's an idiot, right? And that's why you're doing all this stuff on Facebook. You like to preach that everyone else, you jackasses, that's what you're telling people. We imagine these potential scenarios. We pretend that they actually happen, and then we get indignant that they don't, or that they did happen. And we're just living in this fantasy world. It's crazy. None of it changes anything. And none of it fixes anything. If anything, it just drives other people to be more angry. And we're stressed. Pandemic stress, politics stress, rioting, looting stress. Everyone in their head is an expert. and everyone else is an idiot. Right? It's like when you're driving. Everyone going slower than you is an idiot. Everyone going faster than you is a maniac. And it's the same thing with your little fantasy world online. You're the genius. If everyone just did what I said, everything would be fine. And everyone who doesn't agree with me is just, you're a jackass. You're an idiot, and you shouldn't be allowed to vote. And that's really what we're doing. And there's no learning. It's just preaching. We're not learning from other people. Or if it is learning now, it's like this contrived little, it's just done in this preachy way. And it's just annoying. So everyone just says, listen to what I have to say. And the reason we do it, I think, this is pure Jim Frawley kind of things. Everything is so out of control. Change. Ooh, sorry, I just hit the microphone. Change is so everywhere, right? Workplace change. Are we going to lose our jobs? The economy has supposed to have collapsed by now, and what's going to happen? And there's rioting everywhere, and people are angry, and everything. There's just so much change that everything's so out of control. We want to feel in control. That's it. And when we want to feel in control, we put other people down. We want to feel superior to ideas. We want to feel superior to other people. We make fun of other ideas, and then we try to get these arbitrary people online to agree with us. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not the way to get control. It's like when you're sitting at a traffic light and it turns green, and one person is just slowly walking across the street in front of you, and then they just look at you. They know you're there, and then they just go back, and they just keep walking slow, and you can't go. It's a green light. Used to drive me bananas, and then I recognized this person has no control over their life. This is them trying to execute their power. They have no power. And this is why everyone's angry. And it's because they're trying to influence or execute their power on other people, or they're looking to other people for power. And it's wrong. It doesn't work. This is why nighttime comedians aren't funny anymore. They all went political. They all went political, and they all went angry. And it's because everything, they put down other ideas in order to help other people, like a segment of the population, feel superior to other people that exist around them. And it's this false sense of power. It's this dismissive disgust. And it's not helpful. And I know a lot of you are listening to this saying, that's right. These other people do it. You're doing it. I'm telling you, you're doing it. You're part of the problem. I'm part of the problem, right? I just because I don't post it, I still believe it. I still think it, right? All of us do it. Just because I don't post on any of these things doesn't mean I don't read it and think that you're an idiot for posting it. That's why that's what makes me so angry. And what's interesting, I had a client a long time ago, and we gave this leadership assessment, and it was a good leadership assessment, that one of the few that I'd use. And it said to her, you are looking for reasons to be angry, or looking for reasons to be offended. I forget what it was. It was something like, why are you looking for, or she may look for reasons to be angry. And I said that it really resonated with her. She read that and she goes, holy cow, right? She walks into a room looking for, like, who wants to pick a fight with me? And that was her moment. That was her little click moment. We didn't even have to meet after that. She's like, this makes sense. And there's a thing now that exists called doom scrolling, where we're scrolling through looking for bad news. We're looking for reasons to be, and we're actively looking for people to like pick a fight with us. And it's like we're poking the bear. And our news feeds track what we click so that they could sell more advertising so you could click more. There's money to be made in your anger and your fear. And so it gives us more of it. It's this endless hole of garbage, right? So I started, I started thinking about it. So I did this reflective stuff, right? Which is what I do. When something's not going well for me, when I'm getting a little annoyed, or like really a lot annoyed, I start to say, all right, why? Okay, so we had a big storm here in New York a couple weeks ago. We lost power for like 4 days. Which was not as bad as other people. A neighbor of mine knocked the chimney off their house. It was pretty significant. And I got pissed. Nobody got hurt. Nobody, we just lost power. And I had to go clear out the fridge and everything. And, I was offline for 4 days, but whatever. Grand scheme of things, we're okay. I was so angry for those 2 days, and I'm trying to figure out why. Like, why was I so pissed off? And I feel like it pushed me over the edge. It was like the stressful thing I had to deal with. I had to make sure my daughter was okay, emptying out the fridge, moving it over. Who's got a generator? Can we use some space in your fridge? And everyone was very helpful. Like, everyone was willing to help and use our Wi-Fi, sit in our backyard and connect and, whatever. But I was still angry. And so that was the moment where I'm like, I shouldn't be angry at this. What's going on? And so I started to think about my behavior and what was I doing and when was I feeling this crawl up my neck? When you're bored, what do? You pull up your phone, right? So I would be looking at my Twitter or my Instagram or my Facebook and saying, what can I put out and what do I look at and who's on there? Going all the way up. I'm like, all right, I'm logging out. Log out, log out, log out. The only thing that should be communicated out for me now on social media is something for the business, right? It has nothing to do with me. But then I was still getting it. I'm like, all right, it was my Google News feed on my phone. Like, you just go left and it brings you all the stories. I'm like, angry, angry, angry. Here's, pandemic stuff and here's politics stuff and, it's all the stuff that I click on. I'm like, nope, got to turn it off. Figured out how on my phone I could turn off all these automatic news things. I started deleting all these old apps. I got this mountain of apps on my phone. Just started delete. If I haven't touched it in a month, it's gone. Do I really get value out of this? I got rid of Reddit. I got rid of all these things. So now when I look at my phone, it's either a work thing or a book. And that's it. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else. I'm looking at my phone now. Music, right? And French. So I can study French. But that's it. Yeah, that's it. And Disney Plus because I got a 3-year-old. But that's all. Like, I'm not using any of that stuff. So now I've actually turned my phone. I forget my phone in the other room now. It's I don't even think about it. So if you're trying to call me, don't. Like, I'll get to it later. And I find I'm a better dad. I'm spending more time with my daughter. I'm a better husband. I'm more focused on my work. I'm more productive. Ignorance is bliss. I've actually turned it all off. And I think I turned it off at just the right time because I'll check it in the morning, and I'll check my news. Like, I'm not, a complete hermit. But I went through and I'm getting my news and I'm so happy I'm not looking at it all day. Politics season's here. The Republicans and the Democrats are, doing their big convention things and everyone's getting preachy. Oh, everyone's getting preachy and everyone's so happy for their own politicians. And it's going to be these next, what are we in? It's August. I'm recording this in August. Elections in November. It's going to be ugly. It's just going to be ugly. And your warning is here. So turn it off. Just turn it off for your own sanity, for your own sake. Just turn it off. It's like this addictive thing. And go like pick some flowers or something. Just spend some time in the woods. Like pull a Walden. Do what you can do. Because I don't know my purpose for this podcast. I think it was cathartic for me. But if I could challenge you for something like it's making you angry. Everything is making you angry. I know it is. And we can respond to anger different ways. And think about, for you Facebook people, like think about it. This is part of who you are. Do you want to be the angry person who's just bitching about everything online? Or are you someone who's facilitating a discussion? Or do you need to be either one? Do you need to, do you think people care about your opinion? Like, recognize you don't matter. So stop sharing it, right? If you want to have a conversation with someone, pick up the phone and have a conversation. But, can you just go and enjoy your day? And it's look, and I'm not going to change anybody. Right? There are these people who are just, it's so in a part of who they are. And that's fine. But it's, so for those of you who want to question that, it feels nice. I've had a pretty nice week. I don't think I dropped an F-bomb on this episode, so that's pretty good. But that's my unsolicited advice. My catharsis is, you gotta just take control of what you're looking at, what you're doing. And it'll leak back in. I know it'll leak back in. And I'm gonna have to go through the exercise again and figure out where it's leaking. and figure that out. But it's that's it. And so the last thing I'll say is we enter politics season, because I don't really talk about politics. I will tell you who to vote for, and I'm going to tell you today. Just write in Lawrence Turode. Lawrence Turode is the person this country needs. You may know him by his other name. It's Mr. T. And Mr. T is he pities fools. And we are many fools who need pitying right now. So write in Mr. T for president. He'll be president of Bellwether. How about that? Mr. T, if you ever listen to this, come be our honorary president at Bellwether. That would be fantastic. Anyway, so that's it. So stop being so freaking angry. I kept the language okay on this episode. I just caught myself. And pity those fools and be happy. Come to Bellwether. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Meditate, do deep breathing, Wim Hof method, whatever it is, and serenity now. Have a great week. Thanks for listening, and I'll be in touch soon. Thanks.